On a rainy day down here in southern Alberta, friends, this is Dolany TV live from the car. You know what it is on a game day. I ain't sitting at home moping around and hoping for a good result. We're out enjoying the heck out of life here this summer, this spring, as we approach the May long weekend. And of course, for the Edmonton Oilers, they're trying to enjoy the heck out of a playoff run as well. Tonight, Stuart Skinner starts for the second consecutive game with the update on Calvin Pickard not being so fruitful for the Oilers. Still another week or so yet. And if that's the case, well, we're looking at finishing this series hopefully with Stuart Skinner in net, because if you're looking at Mr. Cal Pickard getting back into the net, maybe game 7 at best. I didn't get the full updates this morning. Some personal stuff going on. So, no, as far as we know, Mr. Skinner starts game number 4 and Pickard a distant future similar to possibly a Matthias Ekholm. So for right now, yeah, what we got to do is survive, quite honestly. And the big question that gets asked right now as we head into game number 4 this evening against the Golden Knights is, will game number 4 be different for the Oilers and Stuart Skinner than it was in game 3? And well, everybody will sit here and get on every single side of the argument. Right now, putting Stuart Skinner's name alongside the words Edmonton Oilers is just simple free clicks for anybody in the media. It is just so easy. Everybody is so upset or so defensive of the guy that it's just simple. Just talk about Stuart Skinner right now and you'll be one of the most popular media outlets in the nation. So basically what we're looking at here for Stuart Skinner in game 4 is, you know what, I said it yesterday, is it's not that the Oilers don't get bounces. The Oilers get bounces all the time. They got a bounce in game 3 to tie the hockey game. But again, they don't get the bounces to win games when Stuart Skinner is in net. Now, the issue is Stuart Skinner has won a lot of games in his career. He's won a lot of games in the playoffs. He's a good goalie in terms of racking up wins. But racking up wins in terms of pure goaltending alone when Stuart Skinner is in net just does not happen that often, right? Everybody's like, oh, he was phenomenal in the clinching game against Dallas. Yeah, that's great. He was phenomenal one game last year in the playoffs that everybody points to. One game the Oilers played 24, 23, something like that. Is that really spectacular? Is that what you're going to go chasing his entire career in the playoffs behind, is one game against Dallas out of 23 last year? I don't know if that necessarily, it builds a reputation or builds an exception more so. So it's kind of tough. And the hard part is, if the Oilers get the same game out of Stuart Skinner they got in game 3, despite the 4 goals against, they likely win tonight. That is the stupidest part of Edmonton Oilers playoff hockey, is the performance that Stuart Skinner handed in was good enough to win. Now the Oilers, to their discredit, as other teams like Vegas and LA have done at times against us this year, kind of sat back after getting a lead. Yes, okay, the goals against Skinner aren't pretty looking, but the goals against the defense and the forwards for the Oilers with the line changes, the turnovers, all this involved weren't pretty looking either. So the Oilers, if they get back to, and I hate the difference between Pickard and Skinner, because that's just laziness on the Oilers' part, really is what it is. But if the Oilers just somewhat settle between the performance of game 2 and game 3, somewhere 50-50 in the middle of those 2 games, they mop up Vegas, probably 6-4 tonight on an empty netter, given that Skinner will likely give up 4 goals, have an .820 save percentage. But back-to-back games, if the Oilers just clean up, like I said, a little bit from last game out, that is good enough to win with Stuart Skinner in net. It's the stupidest, dumbest argument you can possibly make, because it is so bad to be making it, because we should be able to get better goaltending than that night in, night out. But that is just simply where we are. That's where, the direction of the team has been the past 3 years, and it is what it is. But the Oilers, with that recipe, oftentimes lose one, come up with the win the next time out, or win one, come up with the loss the next time out. And that's where we find ourselves today, is lose one, come up with the win the next time out. And like I'm saying, if you're just tuning in, I want to rehash this because obviously we're halfway through. It is so dumb to say that the performance that Skinner gave us in game 3 is good enough to win game 4 based on, and it just, again, comes down to, it's not like the Oilers never get the bounces with Stuart Skinner in net, but they do not get them regularly enough. So the issue there is, if the Oilers get that one extra bounce tonight, that, it's the game deciding bounce, they'll win. If they don't, Well, and then they're up tough, and they just got to really keep the pedal to the metal for what will essentially be a full 60 minutes. And nobody has told me in the comment section of the 240 comments on last game's video from yesterday morning talking about Stuart Skinner and the Game 3 performance. Nobody has told me that the Oilers played a full 60 minutes in game number 3. So I couple Stuart Skinner's performance in game 3 alongside a full 60 minutes that is 50% better, or 50% of the way to the game 2 performance from the Oilers with Pickard and net. You've got a winning recipe. Anything shy of that, 40 minutes of hockey, 50 minutes, 58 minutes of hockey, and 10% better than last game, is going to be a loss all night for the Edmonton Oilers. The problem is why that sits, right? Technically, you could say game 3 was a coin flip, right? It goes to overtime, it's a coin flip. The puck doesn't go off Dreisaitl's stick, goes wide, it's a coin flip. I get that. That's fine. That's dandy. Whatever. Defense, offense, line changes, struggling, it's all a coin flip at the end of the day if that game goes to overtime. The thing is, here in game 4, is it's not like it's 3-0 in this series. Vegas clawed back in with a last-second goal in game 3. It's 2-1 series. They can go home with a win tonight here in Edmonton in a tied series after stealing 2 themselves on the road. That is what the problem of the matter is you've allowed Vegas back in. They're only more motivated now. There's been some war in this series. There's been some injuries on both sides. There's some guys slugging through some things now after a heavy set first 3 games. And now you start to see where this series really shifts. If Vegas can catch some fire and really light up Stuart Skinner now that he's back in net, probably full time the rest of this series, if not at least until game number 7. So yeah, we'll see what that equals out for the Oilers. But like I said, the difference here in game 4, the only way it's going to be different is if the Oilers take ownership and accountability. And I don't care if they have confidence or not in front of Skinner. You're a professional hockey team that makes the playoffs perennially now. You're a team that competed for the Stanley Cup last year with Skinner in net. You can't tell me you've got no confidence in the guy and perform the way the Oilers so often have this year in front of them. It's just man up, grow a set, and get going, because I'm tired of watching the Oilers play piss poor in front of Mr. Stuart Skinner. It's just a lazy excuse that, oh, he's not Pickard, so we're not going to play for him. That's lazy and unacceptable from a teammate standpoint. Really, if you're in the room, it's an unacceptable standpoint and a standard that Connor and Leon are letting slide. So go out there, do your thing, own the ice, run Vegas out of the building on a Monday night in Edmonton. And you know what? It's rainy, it's gross outside. Give the fans something to cheer about, because they're going to be getting drenched on if it's anything like down here in southern Alberta, although it seems to have stopped raining just in the meantime while I do the videos. So yeah, really, will it be any different for Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers in game 4? There's a couple of factors that you can take ownership of and change to make that happen. Whether it happens or not, that remains to be seen. But for right now, what we got to see is just that little bit more attention to detail from the Oilers. And the sad part, like I'm saying, if you're just tuning in now, is the Oilers' performance in front of Skinner is what cost them the game, not Stuart Skinner in game number 4 or game 3. Because so oftentimes that performance from Skinner, despite the goals against being ugly as hell, the performance, the 4 goals against in a game that goes right down last second of regulation, is good enough to win for this Edmonton Oilers team in playoffs. So again, it just comes down to, you got to take care of details in front and hope like hell you get the bounce in front of your own net that goes favorably for you instead of against you, which it so often doesn't when Stuart Skinner is in net. So friends, that is all I really got for you today. Thanks for tuning along for the ride here on the pregame on the channel today. I look forward to watching the game here in Crossfield tonight and seeing the Oilers dominate the Vegas Golden Knights. Hopefully, run it up. 7 goals tonight. Hopefully it's not a Grant Fuhr kind of score. Hopefully it's 7-4, 7-3, something where it's a little bit more stress-free for us Edmonton Oilers fans. As Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers, well, they're going to ride together for the time being as the Oilers try to take home the series against the Vegas Golden Knights. Thanks for being aboard, friends. I am up on out of here.